And welcome back to the Off the Clock Show. You are joined on the best podcast next to the Joe Rogan podcast with your host, Shawn Gervais from OrbisX CRM and Mr. Marshall Hill from the Pints of Polishing podcast, as well as Hypercare Car Clean products to take care of your whip. And I tell you, I used some spray coat this weekend and holy shit, it's amazing. So that was my first time using it. Stole some from my shop. That's right. Thievery. But you know what? I paid for it. So
it's cool to watch it when you've got a car that doesn't have a lot of protection on it. And it's kind of really now, if it's an old car that doesn't have any, might take a little bit, right? Sometimes maybe 2 uses, but if you got just let's say it got paint sealant like 3 months ago, right? And it's starting to kind of wear itself down, or you did coating a year ago, right? Like something like that. You put that spray coat on, whoosh,
so
immediate. It's so cool.
Me, I did all my rims this weekend too.
Oh yes, I love spraying rims with it. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh man, and it's crazy. I know you told me, and I know I saw the video, and you're like, you're gonna see it like instantly in action. It's one thing to hear that; it's another thing to see it. And instantly, I was like, how the fuck does that work? Like I was like instantly like, okay, I gotta know, man. Like
some of that Oklahoma pixie dust.
Yeah, exactly. I know I'm not gonna get to know, but Oklahoma pixie dust sounds like a strip club. But hey, there we go. Another side venture.
Twice.
Yeah. We'll ceramic coat the poles, but actually, it's probably a really bad idea. Actually, there might be a business there. But anyways, yeah, man. How was your weekend, man? Memorial Day weekend?
Well, it was full of a little rum haven.
Ooh,
that's what this is. Rum haven made with real coconut water.
Oh shit!
And I thought, sweet Caribbean rum.
Yeah,
right, like,
real coconut. Yo,
fucking Sean's gonna love this.
Hell yeah, man. Where's that one from? Probably bottled in Canada again.
And then you get down to with coconut liqueur.
Ah.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. Damn. I was super stoked for a minute there.
Me too. Me
too. I mean, I'm still excited, but how's it
taste?
21%
and it's 42 proof. There's the liqueur part. So
gotcha.
A lot of flavor of coconut.
Very sugary, I imagine.
Very, very sugary.
Yeah.
It's what it is. But had a great weekend, man. Are you guys Memorial Day? It's not, do you celebrate?
No, not here.
Let's stop at the border.
Yeah, stop. Yeah. Stops at the border. Absolutely. Stops at the border, but we do sort of not celebrate per se, but because we're so closely tied with the US and US economy, it does impact things here a lot. And so as a result, a lot of people end up taking the day off kind of thing and then spending time with family just in a different way. Is that the UPS?
No, but pause 1 second. Can you pause it?
Yeah, 2 seconds.
I'd offer you some rum, but.
And welcome back from a brief intermission there.
Yeah, we had a super surprise guest come in.
Hey, everybody. Clint with 3D Products. I stopped in to see my old friend Marty Hill and got to get to say hello to another one of my detail industry friends.
Yeah, and how you doing, man? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, good. How's things out there?
Things are good. Finally warm too, which helps,
Yeah. Ohio too. It's just amazing how when the sun comes out, people want to clean their cars.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to get that.
Which is a good thing. So yeah, no, that's great. I need to jump on a full episode sometime.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely.
I'm gonna give myself a plug, 3dproducts.com.
There we go. Boom, boom.
That's what it's for. That's why we had you hop in.
Absolutely.
Peace out, everybody.
All right, after we're done, maybe we'll grab a beer.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right, my
friend. Good to
see you, Clint. Thank you. Yeah, that was fun, huh? Yeah, it's not the same plant.
Yeah, man. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, right.
Nice little pop in.
Random. Like, what the hell are you doing here? I saw somebody walking around and I was like, okay, whatever. And then his face shows up and I'm like, huh?
You're like, oh
what?
Shit. Yeah.
It's been years.
You probably thought you were seeing something. It's that coconut rum. Yeah. It's absinthe actually. But and me, I got a new one actually I'm trying out today. So this was a gift from my brother-in-law. I'm gonna do my best to pronounce this here. Subrauka, I'm guessing. Bison grass. It's a vodka.
Sounds Russian, but I didn't know they had bison in Russia.
Me neither, apparently. And but inside, you can see there's kind of a see that
Bison
little
husk?
yeah, there's like something in there, but it's lemongrass.
Oh,
And
okay.
you
I
know
was
what?
like,
Yeah, bison tusk. Yeah. Yeah,
Mexico, they're going to put worms. In Russia, we put tusk.
yeah,
I think
exactly.
bison have a tusk, so I don't, whatever.
I don't know either, but it's some part of a bison. Well, actually, yeah, looking at the picture of them, look at those things.
Did you cook anything good this week?
So oh my God, did I ever? Whew, man. So strangest, craziest story ever, and just goes to show you the hustle and how industries change. I'm in the backyard doing some yard work, and my wife comes and she says, there's a guy outside, you got to go talk to him. He's selling fish out of a van. So instantly fucking alarm bells start going off. I'm like, oh great, there's gonna be some junkie outside, with some shit in a box. Like, anyway, go outside. Sure enough, there's a guy out there dressed proper. He's got a nice dress shirt on. He's got a car that's all wrapped. So I go over to his van and he's got this massive fucking storage thing in the back, freezer cooled, everything. He's got all these things nicely packed. And anyway, he's got a great company. It's called Sealand. They sell mostly fish, but they do have some, steaks and things like that as well. Anyway, I ended up buying like $1,500 from the guy. But now we have like meat for a long time. I got this mahi though. Oh my God. Had a bunch of people over at the house this weekend, and one of them had requested. He said, "I've never had mahi. Shayna just told me that you got a bunch of fish from some guy in a van. I got to try this." So I made this. I know it's yeah, yeah, exactly. But man, I tell you, super fresh. So it's you pay more for it because you're getting the convenience. The guy's coming to you. He does home deliveries. You order from his website, all this stuff. But also it's proper food. It's not so like even a lot of the seafood. They freezer pack it or whatever. What do you call it? Flash frozen. Yeah, they flash freeze it or something on the boat. So it's like seals and everything and then comes straight. But man, I tell you, amazing. Yeah. So that's what I had.
We've got a box truck type that comes up out of Oklahoma, Texas, and then you have the ocean, right? You got the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah. You got a little distance.
Yeah, so we'll have a box truck once a month come up and they sit in a abandoned place, send out the emails, and it's a line, man. It's a big line.
Yeah, that's wicked, man. Yeah, it's a great way to get food, man. I feel.
Oh yeah,
you get really good food, good deals, and the more you build up those relationships too. Like he told us, he said, look, because you bought so much, your first time customer. He said basically, here's a dessert for you guys, and he gave us this. It was like a cheesecake, but assorted cheesecake slices. I'm telling you, it was some of the best cheesecake I had in my life. Anyway, he gave us that, so there was a little taste of each different type and stuff. And I realized like he probably does that for all his new accounts, you know what I mean? But I felt special. That's the important part. So he's got my business now on my freezer. He's got his magnet right there, which is another important thing is that he did all this work, but he followed through with here's our price sheet. Here's the magnet. Put that on your fridge so that I'm top of mind. Every time I go in there, I see his thing,
Don't you love seeing it when somebody's got their shit together?
Oh my God. Do I ever, man?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Like it. And you know what? It means that if he has an off day, I'm going to be like, that's okay. Because I know he's got his shit together, right? So I know like everyone has an off day. I'll forgive him for that. But if he didn't have his, ducks in order, and that's where, I see a lot of comments, as I'm sure you've seen, where people are like, what app should I use? And then people are like, paper and pen, use your memory. I'm like, man, what a game plan for staying in business, bro.
Right?
Yeah.
So I got to do quite a bit of yard work. I did cook some stuff. We ground up some more steak, did some salmon, did all that. But for me, it was mostly, man, I really want to spend some time in the garage, spend some time in the yard. Like we were having a sale, so I didn't have to worry about anything. It was just,
nice.
It's a weekend. We know we're going to have a sale. We know we're going to hear cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. And I got a 3-day weekend. So I was like, the only thing I really had to do on Monday was have a meeting, right? Like, yeah, it was an important meeting, but that's easy.
But still, that's easy. Yeah. It's late. It's
easy.
Yeah,
so I got to chill for the weekend, man. It was great. It was great.
Oh, that's amazing.
Big deep breath and a lot of work though, right? Stayed work. I just need to clean stuff.
Yeah.
Odd that we as detailers always seem to need to clean things, but found this need to clean things, and in the middle of it, I'm listening to podcasts, and suddenly I hear, listen, I had to get through the chatter of all these damn commercials, but then eventually I hear, oh, Shawn from OrbisX, and I go, well, goddamn, I better turn this up. Like, this is going to get exciting. Listen, Shawn, man, nicely done on the tips.
Thanks.
There was
Thanks.
quite a bouquet of tips. I know you
There
had
always is.
you had a bouquet fully stocked and ready to go.
And ready to go.
Really good, man. I enjoyed the tips, but the other side was the part that left me very questioning. I really want to pick your brain on this because
Sure.
I've always been curious what people listen to, how they listen, what do they listen while they're listening to it, right? I'm listening and I'm going, 1 out of 3 of these people, well, I guess there was 4, 3.5. 1 out of 3.5 of these people actually know what the fuck they're talking about. The other 2.5, well, one I had previously had on an episode. I found the guy early in his career. He tells me sitting on an episode in his hometown on his, like, this is my big episode, launches it with, I'm not a detailer. I'll never be detailer. I'm only a businessman. Cool. I like it.
Yeah.
But on this episode, I'm a detailer. Always been a detailer. Only had a detailer. I've only always ever been a detailer.
Yeah.
That's interesting. You know, you
think
got
when
this
people
other guy that literally has 20 customers, but he's out there telling people about how to do this and how to do that and how to gain customers and how to do this. And half the time they're just really agreeing with you. They really don't ever say anything that is original, right? Never once do the 2.5 other people ever say anything original. It's only repetition of what you said or somebody else has said, and they're just regurgitating it. 2.5 of those people never say anything to help the industry. They only are recirculating information.
I know what you mean. It's like on our thing, like it's something new every time.
Well, I mean, you could ask the question like, well, what do you do for marketing? Well, you need to social media, you know, you need to go into groups, you need to make video, right? That's nothing new, and that's not creative, and that's not original. That has no meat to the bone, which makes us understand then why people don't listen to them, right? Like, what do people listen to though? What do you think when people listen? What do you think they're actually listening for? And do you think that they hear these people and have the same wave and mindset that you and I have and go, yeah, there's nothing new. This guy actually doesn't say anything. He's just running his mouth. Or do they go, oh yeah, man, these guys are great. Golly. What do you think?
I think there's 2 types of people out there when it comes to listening to, you know, things of an educational type of nature, you know, like whether it's a podcast or it's an audio book or whatever the case is. I think there's those that listen because that's what they're told they're supposed to do. They're kind of told, like, you know, if you want to get better in your business, you've got to, you know, pay attention to those in the industry. You've got to listen to things. You got to this and that. And they're just listening to listen and they give it a like and whatever, but they're not actually taking anything away. And that's why they don't really give a shit if the content is, you know, engaging or if it's going to provide some value that they can make an actual change, because they don't plan to make an actual change. They're just scared of making a change. I think that's one type of person. I think the other type listen to things hoping that they're going to get something of value out of it, even if it's just one snippet. And I think that's where the views on some of them might start off because it's something new. They might start off, oh, look, we got, you know, the first video, 100 views, next video, 400 views, next video, 1,000 views, but then it kind of tapers off and just stays there. And then there's the other ones that may grow a little bit slower in a sense, but the people that they're getting are actually using the stuff. So they become like loyal listeners. I think I don't know, I'm just gauging it by myself because I look at people I've worked with and, you know, helped them with, because like I do some coaching sometimes, not as a business by any means, but just someone will ask me and they're really, you know, they pitch a good story. So I offer to help them out. But those guys, I noticed, you know, I say one of the first things is like, okay, so what are you doing to help fix your problem? Like, you know what some of the problems are that you think they are. What are you doing to help fix it? Oh, well, you know, I've been following so-and-so or listening to such and such advice and stuff. And I'm like, okay, so what are 3 things that you got from that you were able to implement and actually do something with? Oh, well, they had a lot of really good ideas, but I haven't really done anything with it. And it's like, okay, so then I start looking at the sources that they're mentioning and I'm like, oh, because they're just regurgitating the same shit. And it's a blanket statement. Like, you got to do social media. Okay. What does that mean? And there's good ways and bad ways to do social media. Whereas us, we'll deep dive on one particular thing, like putting content up. What type of content? We'll have a whole episode just on the type of content. Like, you should do videos and this length and so on and so forth, and this is what you should put in them. So I think that there's a lot of people like that they don't really, I don't know if they're just looking for like entertainment or they just want to kind of cross it off the list because they were told you should listen to podcasts, you should listen to audiobooks, you should read, you should this, that. So they're just, okay, well, I did 2 of those things, so I'm going to be successful now. You know, it's different. Like me, I've bought books just because of 2 pages before, because for me, it's like those 2 pages, I'm going to be able to use that with my staff and reference it and say like, look, this is why meetings suck right here. You know,
But you don't keep going back to that author and reading all of his other books.
None of his stuff is shit. And most often I find, like, even Grant Cardone, I've read 2 of Grant's stuff. Everything else I found was just his vision changed, or the book didn't apply to me directly or my industry or anything like that. So I didn't just keep subscribing to his shit just because it's
Right.
Grant Cardone.
Because it actually would eventually begin to hurt you.
Oh, from day one, because I'm literally wasting time from that moment. That
And how many people, which we have said nonstop, get into our industry because it's easy.
oh,
Then they go and try and listen to get some information.
from
And
people
now
that
you see the quandary. Now you see the pickle. Now you see if we go back to Reagan economics, right? The trickle down effect, right? Now you see the trickle effect.
yeah.
Bullshit getting put out with no real viable. It's just recirculated what they had heard from somebody else. Then everybody that listens doesn't really ever get the full answer of how to solve their problem. They just get an idea of it or a theory. And so then they go listen to this guy who was a trainer at such and such. And then we go listen to this guy that was such. And you go, wow, no wonder we have so many problems in our industry. It's because nobody really learns how to solve problems. They just like talking about it.
It's true. And they pay attention to all the buzzwords and what people are talking about at that moment, the trend. So they push that shit. They're just influencers. I find there's more influencers in our industry than anything else. And like, I by no means am an influencer. I'm not trying to be an influencer, none of those things. I have no course to sell you.
Is that why this is the other part that I found interesting on ours and on yours? You know, there's some hey, this is where you find us. Hey, this is something about the company, but you don't do commercials.
No, definitely not.
I don't do commercials.
Yeah.
Influencers
I've had people ask,
have to get their money from companies that pay them so that they can try and tell you about their products. And most of the quote unquote influencers don't really even fully test because they don't have enough cars to test. They'll say, oh yeah, I put it on. I had one episode I heard from somebody. They went to this big conference where all these people were about particularly content. And there was this guy that was giving out ceramic coatings. And this guy was then on somebody's episode. And the guy on the episode goes, yeah, I mean, you gave me some, but I think I threw it on a car before you guys came here. Then he's going to tell people, yeah, you should put it on. And these are the results you're going to get. And he's an influencer to tell people about somebody else's products. And he's got 20 fucking customers and he doesn't actually use the products. And he doesn't have any type of marketing to gain new customers. And he has nothing actually tangible for a detailer to listen to other than somebody to come on and talk about their product or their brand.
Yeah. See,
and this is that circle that goes around and
it goes around and around.
Instagram, TikTok, it doesn't matter. It just gets circled around.
One person says one thing and then 4 other influencers see it. And then next thing you know, they're talking about it. And it's just fucking
the same shit.
It's
just
true.
Circled around.
Excuse me. That's where I like what we do, because I've actually seen members in the group put it into practice, message me and tell me, they're like, holy shit. Like there was one guy 2 days ago, actually, anyway, it was last week sometime. He messaged me and he was showing me his Google reviews and how it's helped him go up and how he's climbed, and also how his booking form is now showing up in search engines and stuff. And so he was showing me this and he's like, fuck man, I was using this. He had a 1-year trial back when I had the 1-year promo. He had that. He didn't use it for like 7 months. It was just sitting there. He signed up, saw it on someone's post, signed up. He had a year. So he was like, I'll switch. he was using another software, and they kept telling him, oh, it's because, you know, reviews take time. That's why your customers aren't leaving them. Oh, you know, this and that, just giving him the runaround. Finally, he was like, okay, I got to try something new. Tries OrbisX after he was listening to, well, retried OrbisX after listening to some of our tips and the stuff we were giving out. And he said, fuck, you know, I'm with this other company. They're just giving me the runaround. They just want my money for the software. These guys are putting out
At least
content.
Shawn will stick in a tip at least. Goddamn.
Absolutely, man. And I'll even make some eye contact. And so he's climbed up, and he literally sent me a screenshot, and he said, go Google this. So I Googled it, and fuck, there he is, #1, boom. And then he said, and my booking form is showing up because it's optimized for search
Yeah,
engine
that's
results,
cool. Yeah.
stuff like that, right? And it's showing up so much. There's another software company out there. It's actually pretty sad, but they started Googling OrbisX plus like city names and then calling customers. And the funny part is it reaffirmed on my end how loyal and how awesome OrbisX is, but how loyal the customers are, because they were all messaging me. They're like, yo, this company just called me. They'd send me screenshots. They're like, I told them to go fuck themselves. I'm really happy with OrbisX. I was like, awesome. So #1, reaffirms that. But #2, they did poach 2 members that were on a trial. They weren't even actively doing anything anyways. They got them. But they started mentioning in their group, oh yeah, I came from OrbisX. I was trying it out. Other members started saying, huh, what's OrbisX? And so we ended up taking on 20 new clients this past week just from that chatter that happened. So they took 2, we gained another, you know, plus 18 plus the 2 original back. So it was just funny how that happened. But it's one of those things where we're over delivering the value, you know, both in our products, but also outside of our products and in things like the podcast and stuff like that. And that's where we hit home with the real entrepreneurs that do want to learn, that do want to execute, that do want to do something with the information. And while there may be, you know, 40,000 detailers across North America or whatever the number is, out of that, there's only, you know, I don't know, 5,000 that are actual entrepreneurs, business owners that actually get it. And that's the market I'm trying to reach. I'm not trying to reach the guy that's going to be here for one summer and gone next. You know, it's business for me. It's a marathon. This is about longevity.
Agreed. So while I'm, you know, finishing up inside,
thanks for giving me shit about the podcast.
Yeah, I finally had to turn that shit off because I couldn't handle it. And
so wait, did you hear the answer to my last question about
no, I got about halfway through and I went, I can't handle it.
Okay, because they did do a cool segment about some questions like what you would do if you were like no longer doing what you do now, kind of thing, right? And yeah, which I thought was a cool thing. One of the other guys that was on there with me, who we had before, his answer was kind of he would be doing what he's doing now, like selling courses and stuff, you know. And but me, I took it as the literal question, like it's not an opportunity for me to just sell more of my stuff. And so I was like, yeah, swimsuit model, hands down. Get to travel,
absolutely,
new beaches all the time, free drinks probably, hotel stays. Let's go, man. And then I was like, nah, but if not that, then helicopter pilot, you know. But anyway, it was, and then yeah, so it was fun though. But yeah, definitely I gave away the most tips on that thing for sure, hands down. Everything else just seemed like it was more just promoting just brands and
generalization.
Yeah, it was generalization. Yeah. Whereas me, I really like conversations that are like, our stuff is not structured at all. People might listen to this and I don't know, sometimes maybe they think we follow like a thing. There's like, this is just us freestyling it. Like,
it's pattern-ish, you know, like
pattern-ish. Yeah. There's gonna be tips. We'll mention what we did on the weekend.
We're gonna drink.
We're gonna drink, yeah. But it's really just I think it's just open and honest discussions about things in the industry, but also just well, tips obviously on how you can do some real shit. Like, it's not just hypothetical, you know, like, okay, I've never done this, but maybe you could do it. I don't know. Like, these are real things. Like the things that I talk about, I actually do at my shop. Like I do these things, you know, and there's the things that other businesses have implemented and it works for them as well. So I feel that we are delivering that value, and that's where you know, the viewership's coming from that. Others have tried to copy our tip segments, and you know, just not all pencils are the same. Exactly.
There's something to be said. I read this in one of those. I like listening every once in a while to some psychological books, and there's a theory that if somebody winks at you, you should never trust them. And that guy immediately at the beginning starts winking, and it's like, oh geez, I'm out.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Damn.
yeah. There's something about when somebody wants to wink at you. There's a legitimate reason they're winking. Contextually, it's a sign, it's a tell.
Holy shit. No
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Now, are we talking like a wink, like a one-eyed, or are we talking just when they blink? Like
Well,
when you say
it
wink,
can
you
go
mean
both
like
ways, right? If you want to go that deep into it, if
right.
somebody's lying, they'll do a couple of things. They might
Ah.
blink really fast, or
Blink
their eyes
more.
might move, right? That could be one way. The other way too is, and it's not like, but
Yeah.
if-
That's what I was
if
wondering.
they go, like, hey,
Yeah.
you can see it once you start seeing it, you'll see it. Salesmen love to do it, right?
Yeah.
Go to a fucking drug dealer. I
Yeah.
got you, man.
I got you, man. Yeah.
Got you. Right? Those winkers, the winker
Those
guys.
winkers.
I got you. Like, oh no, you don't. I'm out. I ain't taking your tip. Huh?
Yeah.
But so I was looking through some stuff, and this is the good part about being 45 and finding a random bag of stuff from when you were in your 20s.
Oh shit. No way.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Wow.
And one of them was a bag of some old photos.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
this was really cool. And so my tip is to know your KPI.
Hmm.
Now, Shawn's going to go KPI and immediately translate it into
Key performance index.
key performance index, or some people call them indicators.
Yeah.
They're things that you can look back on and evaluate your progress, right?
Yeah.
What caused this? Why did we, oh, there was or hey, you did not perform, right?
Yeah.
You did not do. And so it will indicate, right? So I want everybody to do a KPI. However, it's not a key
Stipulation.
performance indicator.
Okay. What is it?
Yeah, it's not. Key performance indicators are for all those, business people.
Yeah.
We're just detailers.
Fix up my tie. Yeah.
I'm going to call it a key personality investment,
Oh, okay.
because I was able to look back and I didn't analyze the things I had done. I looked back at who I was. I looked back at my personality, and I was able to then go back and find some of that personality, find some of that drive, find some of that hope, find some of those desires, find some of those memories, find some of those excitements about what I wanted to do.
Okay. You were Rocky 4 going back to Rocky 1.
Thank
Okay.
you. Yeah. Right?
All right. Interesting. Yeah. That's what
And
happened, right? Yeah.
because I had a flag, in a sense, of the ground to remind myself of who I was, I know throughout my journey, we all change.
Resolved.
We
Yeah.
all evolve. There's things that I should have put away. And there's things that I should have done better at, right? I can't judge myself because that's done. I can look at my personality, though, without a judgment, and just know who I was. Not the actions, but me as a person. And that's very important at 45, at 65, at 75. To know, and if you can figure out in your 20s, I really like doing this. I really enjoy this.
Interesting.
I'm this kind of a person. Then, as you journey through life, Shawn's open and closed businesses. Shawn's had pluses and minuses to his life, same as me. Everybody has a journey. So then what happens through that journey when you get to look back at your personality? You can see where things have changed your personality, and they allow you to go back. You can, if you take the time. Now, granted, it might take a little enlightened medication, right? Might take, a nice Sunday evening, sitting out on the back patio, right?
little
You
bit of
might
bison
need some-
vodka.
Could be some vodka, right?
For
There's
sure.
plenty of people throughout history have used things to put ourselves into a mindset so that we can remember who we are.
Yeah, that's true. Meditation. People do all kinds of
Meditation, right? However you need to get there. You look back, and this is really what happened to me.
Damn.
I was so happy, right?
Yeah.
Young, spunky kid, man. I was
For sure. The world is
washing
my
cars.
oyster.
I was traveling the world, literally. Literally. That's what I wanted to do. Friends, like everything. And it wasn't about, so many people go back and they remember those times and they want to go back, and I want to, right? You
It's
can't
not
go
about
back.
reliving.
Do not try and relive it. That's a terrible way. That's depression. I've been there. Don't do that.
Agreed.
The thing to do is remember who your personality, who were you? What made you smile? And as I began to do that, what are the things I enjoy? What do I like to watch, right? What do I really want to do? And this is the big one. At the end of the week, at the end of the month, at the end of the year, at the end of, right? Why did I do it? What did I really want out of my time?
Yeah.
Then, cool, I can go back and yes, I'm still that same guy. I still have that drive. And it just began to continue to bubble and bubble and bubble. And then I'm just pumped, right? I'm ready because I'm excited about me.
Okay.
This is me.
Yeah.
I'm the only person I have.
Yeah.
The only way for my company
That's
to
true.
grow is for me to be happy and enjoy myself.
That's
So
true.
if I have KPI set up, I can go back and look, and I can reflect, and I can remember me.
Yeah.
Despite everything else that's happened in life, I can remember me. And
Yeah.
then that will really help elevate and push and continue you on in your journey. Because it's
That's
not
true.
easy.
Yeah.
It's not
You know, it's
easy.
funny.
It's not an easy journey.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And what I like about this is, so everyone knows that book, I think it was Simon Sinek, but but what's your why? Like finding your why for the company and this and that, right? A lot of people focus on the why for their business, but the why for yourself in your business, well, in your life in general, right? The why for you, basically. And that's going to help shape your life, your business, your everything around you. But yeah, so you got to put that smile on your face. It's interesting now. I'm wondering. I got like folders and buckets and all kinds of shit of pictures,
Pictures.
stuff like that.
Yep.
I'm gonna go dig them up, and that's really interesting. Yeah. See, I do kind of like a weekly tally. I know it might sound a little overkill to do it weekly, but I kind of just look at every week, and I'm like, how did that week go? Did I feel like it went like when I wake up on Monday morning, and I envision what the week's gonna be like. When it's all said and done, Sunday evening, I can sit down with a glass of something and say, did this week go well? Did I accomplish the things I wanted to? Did it make me happy? My wife and I, we have this thing in the house. It's anytime we go somewhere, we used to just suffer through it. We've all been through those kind of, weird, uncomfortable moments. Like maybe it's at a friend's house, they're having dinner and then they start arguing or something. And you just kind of like sit there uncomfortably until it's over, shit like that. Or you go bowling, but maybe you don't even like bowling. And we have this thing now, we turn to one another and we're like, you having fun? And if the answer is no, immediately we're out of there. Doesn't matter what it is, doesn't matter where we are. We could be halfway through a dinner with somebody and we're like, you having fun? No, me neither. Reach in the pocket, put some money down, be like, listen, guys, this was a blast. See you later. And we're out of there because life is short and we're only here for, a very short period of time. So we're here to make sure that every moment is enjoyable. And it should be the same in your business as well. I like that. KPIs. So not the KPIs I was thinking of. When you said KPIs, I'm not gonna lie, I felt a little tingle inside. I love performance indexes. I love, because me, it's
Sean,
the only
we don't
way-
want to hear about the tingle right before you're going to give your bouquet. Like, come on, man.
my bouquet. Well, it's funny you say that. So I have my daughter has a concert tonight. She's a flutist. I think it's called flutist. Is that it? She plays the flute.
Listen, there's
What's
a
that?
movie about band camp and flutes. I don't know if you want to talk about that.
You know what? And recently, because my daughter kept telling me she's in the band, and then she'd be like, at school, Daddy, at band time or something. She was calling it band
At
time.
band camp?
So every time she said that, I would be going to drop her off. I'm like, do I have to drop you off early today because it's band camp? She'd be like, band camp? I'm like, yeah, you're in band camp. She's like, what the hell is band camp? So I was like, oh, you got to watch some movies. So we watched them all one weekend, back to back to back. And she's a teenager. It's fine. And
Oh,
she
okay.
was like, yeah. And she was like, oh, now it makes so much sense. She's like, we're not that kind of band camp. And I said, good, that's good. But yeah, but I call it band camp still. So she's in the band, she plays the flute. And yes, I'm well aware of the other side of that. But so anyway, I have a concert to go tonight at her school. So that being said, I don't have a ton of time. So my bouquet of tips is going to be rapid fire tips that I'm going to try something new today. And so brace yourself. Because it's anyway, I have to make up for the other, since I left you and went on a different podcast last week. I have to make up for it this week. And if I gave a bouquet over there, I have to triple the bouquet over here. Totally kidding. But I do have some tips. So my daughter's school, going there tonight, and it got me thinking. So I pull in there every day and pick up my daughter, drop her off, do the same routine, yada, yada, yada. There's tons of cars there every single day. Now, we don't do mobile detailing, so this isn't something that I want to pursue specifically at my shop. But I have always thought, if we were to entertain a mobile unit for the summertime only or something like that, I just don't want to get into it too heavy because it's kind of a letdown for customers when they expect some sort of service mobile in the winter and you have to tell them, sorry, we're only shop. We do the mobile in the summer. I just don't want to have those conversations. So we've made that choice. We're not going to do it. Now, some people might. However, I pull in there every day and I see hundreds and hundreds of cars. So my daughter's school is attached to the school board as well. They have an office there. So there's hundreds of cars just parked there all day, literally a gold mine, I'm sure, for someone that wants to take that on. And the point of all this is that it got me thinking, my daughter's schools, ever since they've been in school, every school they've been to schools in Canada, they've been to schools in the Caribbean, every school they've been to, they always need help. They need assistance of some kind. They have a policy here now. They're not allowed to ask for money. They're not allowed to ask for things. So if you want to make a donation, you have to literally offer. They no longer are allowed to ask. And most people don't like asking for things anyways. So I always thought, wouldn't it be cool to set up, like, where do these grants come from? Like if they set up a grant in some family's name or something like that, they sponsor the rugby team or something like that. So I always thought it would be cool to set up a grant where every year, the rugby team gets brand new jerseys or something like that from your business. But then in exchange, letting them know we want to print our logo on there, or we want to show up to the events and, offer some Gatorade or something like that to the players. And you've got a big banner out there and stuff like that. So my advice to someone that does want to do something that is doing mobile would be reach out to the schools and start a conversation about what kind of grants or opportunities you could offer. Maybe there's, a student like my daughter who's excelling in band camp, and maybe they don't have enough instruments or something like that. You could possibly sponsor students like that, but also get some exposure for yourself. So the concert we're going to tonight is not going to have any advertising or sponsors or anything like that, likely because nobody's asked. And I bet you if you were to open some of those doors, people would ask. Now, the next tip, I'll jump in because I'm going to do some rapid fire tips here, is that detailing advertising is boring. I have a marketing agency that we do as well. We predominantly do a lot of vice advertising. So we do work with casinos, things like that. Those are really easy things because you're dealing with temptation, you're dealing with lust, you're dealing with all these fun emotions, right? Yeah, exactly. So you're dealing with all these things, and that kind of advertising is easy and it's fun.
What do I send you? Cash App? Send you what?
Terrible. And so it's easy to advertise vices, right? Because it's you're just preying on that emotion that awakens people, they pay attention, they this and that. But I always found detailing advertising kind of boring. However, recently we ran a campaign. We tried a campaign, and it did well. We were very specific with our targeting, and that's why I bring this up. We made an ad. There wasn't much to the ad, but it showed, actually, I'll see if I can post the video after this and then link it somehow, however that works. But basically we showed little quick snaps of a car. It was just ceramic coated. We showed quick snaps where it was all black background, but then we had a light highlighted on some of the curves of the engine, and it started with, shh, don't show your wife. And then we went in, look at her curves, look at her this, that, the feel of her body when you enter inside her. It was all this. We went hard, but we were very specific with our targeting for the demographic. Anyway, long story short, we definitely captured some attention. Absolutely. And we resulted in 24 bookings off that one ad alone with a $200 ad spend, which might not sound like a big deal. Okay. 24 bookings, but we did a very limited test launch of that just to see what would happen. Now, 24 bookings off of that, the package we're offering is $699. So it's a little special promo for them. And it's ahead of Father's Day. We're kind of leading into what our Father's Day promo is going to be, but you got to think the return on that is huge. But we were playing around with some Vice advertising. So that's going to be my second tip is that. Now, my third and final tip for the day is going to be, I actually had a question from a member who is mobile and he's using his customer's power, but he's feeling bad about it. So he's now looking to change his operations and invest a bunch of money in some equipment. And he wants to get some, generators, things like that. And my recommendation first off was generators are noisy. They can piss off neighbors. Now they do have a nice one by Honda. It's an inverter generator, so it produces almost no noise. Still produces a lot of power for what you might need. However, that being said, I don't think your real customers are going to be too pissed off if you're using the power. You guys did mobile, right, Marty? You ever have customers upset you're using their power?
No.
Okay. Probably could have happened, but very rare, I imagine, right?
Sure, I'll let you finish.
Sure, you let me-
This is great, man. I'm completely opposite on you on this. I did do it for a little bit, starting off.
Okay.
And I immediately began to question myself.
Whether you were doing it right or wrong.
Grabbing their water and I'm grabbing their electric, and I'm going to charge them the price that I want to charge them as I began to grow my business.
That's good because we can dive into that.
I need to start. Yeah. So I stopped using their water. I stopped using their electricity because while they didn't really mind
offering that full service,
it did not look like I was a professional full service detailer. I was just a guy that, no worries if you're a guy that just on the weekend goes and cleans cars. That's fine. It's 100%. Fine. I just did not want to be that guy or put out that type of image.
Absolutely. And I'm so glad you were on the opposite side of the spectrum because I am in the same school of thought as well. When I saw that guy that showed up with the fridge or the freezer with the fish, the fact that he was fully equipped and he had everything ready to go, that level of professionalism had me sold. However, people when they're starting out, maybe don't have the budget for that or something like that. And so the point I was trying to make with this guy today was
there's generators for a couple $100.
This is true.
Imagine if we looked into the average detailer's closet or their TV or their gaming systems or
five pairs of Air Force Ones.
Yeah.
Some Yeezys. It's true. I don't know if they're making those anymore, but anyway, Adidas aside. So I think that, so my advice though to him was in how he approaches problems in his business, because the conversation I had with him led more into not necessarily how to solve this one problem, but how to start looking at problems in his business, because I'm not going to be there to one-on-one talk to him when he runs into a problem on the spot. You won't be able to pick up his call and help solve all the problems in his business. And so what people need to start doing when they're in business is start looking at how they solve problems, not necessarily focusing on this specific answer to that one problem. And so he was instantly turning to Facebook and just asking thousands of random strangers for their opinions on the matter. And then next thing you know, he was spending 3 hours defending his business model to complete strangers, keyboard warriors. And then even the advice he was getting that might have seemed like it was solid was from people that really didn't know their ass from their elbow. And so you might hear something from someone who says, oh, well, I'm doing this and doing that. And it's one of those guys that's got 20 cars a month. That's it. And then you're going to fucking run with that. Meanwhile, there's someone else that's solved that problem like myself, who's doing 20 cars before 2 p.m. in one day. That's a big difference. And so, you really have to be wary of where you're getting your information. So I told him to reframe how he's solving problems. But for anyone that is starting out that doesn't want to get a generator, a good way to do it would be have some gift cards on hand from a local coffee shop that you can offer as a way. And how I worded it to the guy was, we had a similar problem. we had renos that were undergoing. Because remember I told you when our waiting room got covered in shit and all that stuff. Anyway, long story short, we had to find another temporary waiting room for customers. And so we went to the coffee shop across the street and we said, hey, can we buy some wholesale gift cards from you just to cover a coffee and maybe a sandwich, something in the $5 value range? We want to pay $2.50. And then we're going to have those cards on hand. For those that do want to wait around, we can say, no problem. Our thing is under reno right now, but you can go across the street, enjoy a coffee on us. They can go across the street. They have Wi-Fi. What we found is that they became a referral source for us as well, sending us customers. It was a good symbiotic thing going back and forth. COVID took them out, unfortunately, but it's those kinds of problem solving things that you can find alternative ways to handle something. But it starts with becoming a better problem solver, but also finding the right resources, like the Pints of Polishing podcast, like the Off the Clock show, by finding those right resources with the right mentors that actually give a shit about your business, that actually care about, the industry and give proper tips. Sometimes too many tips.
I'm going to go, it's even more basic than that, Shawn.
All right. Hit me with it.
Care about doing things the right way.
Ah.
Don't think it's a care about the industry anymore. Nick and I have talked about this. There's parts of us that, listen, I was pro industry, man. I was changing the industry. I changed mobile tech. I changed the way businesses do things. And the more we got into it, the more we go, I want out of the industry.
Yeah.
The industry
almost want to set up a new, do it the right way.
So I don't even think it's really somebody cares about the industry. I think it's people that care about doing things the right way.
The right way.
We're going to change. We just had a really cool meeting earlier about changing one and having a new slogan that we incorporate. And it's about living, and it's about having a vehicle. It's about operating basically, in a sense, dialed. Why would you want to not live a dialed life? Drive your car while it's dialed in, right? Why would you? If you're a detailer, why would you not want to have a business that's dialed?
Yeah, like tuned up. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that.
Many, right? So many people don't.
Yeah.
They just do.
It's funny you say that. So, okay, warranties. We both know warranties 9 times out of 10 are bullshit. It's why you don't buy the warranty when Amazon offers it. It's why you don't get the warranty on your electronics and all this stuff. 9 times out of 10, they're bullshit. There's some sort of clause, you're getting fucked, right? We've actually changed the wording that we use because we offer warranties on certain things at our shop, like tinting, things like that. We go with coverage now, because what we found was when we used the term warranty, our customers were feeling like, I'm paying for this thing, it's part of the service. Even though they're not paying extra, they feel, okay, it's part of the service, so there's a cost associated somewhere. And they felt like it was just a series of clauses of like how we're going to make sure they don't qualify, versus coverage. It was like, you're covered for the following. It let them know they're not covered for certain things, so like with tinting, your coverage includes the film from the manufacturer, it includes labor, it includes, defects and things like that. By making that little change it's, I guess, further on to your point, is that by looking at things like the industry, someone that, doesn't care, like the industry, most of them, what we've seen, they don't care, doing it the right way, and then finding what your right way is and kind of just, I don't know, like rewording it almost, puts a different spin on it. Does that make sense? Sort of. I've been drinking bison vodka.
We might have to listen to that one twice, but
Yeah, we'll have to run it back. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that there's those in the industry that are just about further perpetualizing the industry as it is now because it benefits them, because they're,
if they're selling a $20 gallon of tire and wheel cleaner, you got to realize there's not much actually in it.
Yeah.
$20 for a gallon that you bought from a distributor that had a 50% margin, that there's $3 worth of plastics. So there's only $7 worth of product. And then these people also have other people to pay, employees, rent, all that stuff. So
and
they're making a $2 profit.
Yeah.
That means there's shit. That means there's not a fucking goddamn thing in there.
It's true.
And I got a message from somebody that started using Fuego, raving about, wow, and we go, yeah, it's because you've been using a car wash brand that has repurposed their car wash chemical could put in a sprayer for you and sell you at $20 for a gallon. We're not
Yeah.
on the same level. There's
It's very
dialed,
different things.
and then there's good enough. And
Yeah.
so many in the industry are just good enough.
Good enough.
I want to use
True.
cheap. They want to
Yeah.
charge like they're not cheap, but then they want to use the cheapest that they can find.
Yeah.
$20 a gallon tire and wheel cleaner from a car wash company.
It's true. Yeah. It's funny you say that because so I look at it the same way where it's like one's, a certain level of concentration, right? And so for me, I always, when people ask me what's the difference with OrbisX and some of the other software offerings that are out there, and I say it's like comparing a swimming pool to an amusement park. And they say, well, theirs is $50 cheaper, I think I want to go for that. Could you do the same pricing? And I said, no, because to do the same pricing, I'm going to have to rip out half the system to match their offering, but then your business isn't going to succeed. And my interest is more in you succeeding. So I'm like, I would rather just give you another couple months free and help you grow your business, because to take those tools away from you, it's going to just be detrimental to your business. And that's where, I want to offer them fuego in the form of a software versus the $20 gallon of garbage. You know what I mean? And that's the difference. So there we go. That's the title of the episode. $20 gallon of garbage. But so I think definitely the industry needs some revamping, needs some overhauling. I'm happy to be on that end of the spectrum with yourself in terms of offering that value to people. And it's funny, I don't do a lot of external podcasts, but being on some of them, because I take opportunities to give back in other people's shows and stuff like that, but being on them is also eye-opening as to the tremendous value that we do offer. So maybe we should start charging for this. Totally kidding, guys. Free for life. But and we're gonna break to a commercial right now, but just kidding. Publicity free, baby. But all right, Marty, listen, I gotta run to the concert. Thank you so much for your time. Awesome. Always a pleasure to have you. I'm gonna go try that coconut rum at some point, or the liqueur. No, stay away from it. Okay, I always like new rums, but okay. Stay with this one. Go for this one though. The bison one. Highly recommend. Absolutely. It's the fuego of the vodkas. I don't know. All right, man. Appreciate you, brother. We'll talk soon. All right. Cheers.